The microphone?
Maybe I'll answer some of their questions ahead of time.
Hey, nobody can hear you. I'll turn the microphones on.
Okay, hello?
Your line's on.
This one's not working.
Here,
It's
take
not
mine.
being- Okay.
No, that's mine.
Oh, wait. Okay. What the heck is that? Okay. Is this better, guys? Does that help work?
Speak up. Be proud of what you have.
Can you hear with this?
Yeah. Your voice is louder though. Yeah.
I did a lot of jury trials. Is it working?
We'll
No.
see. See if that helps. These aren't working. They're not working.
I just heard that one.
Is that better?
This should be
Okay,
tested
well,
before.
I'll just talk really loud.
Just sit over-
Perfect.
Sit over here, sit over here.
I don't think that was working. I don't think yours
None of
was
them
working
working.
either, Dan. I think it was just your voice.
I think
Really?
it's just raising
Yeah.
my voice. I don't think any of them were working.
Nah, yours
No?
is loud.
Okay.
I was married for so many years.
Well,
Okay.
hey.
So, you have to excuse me while I read this since. So, an explanation of why we're all here tonight. In or about early November, my insurance company called me to set my business's rates for 2024 insurance premiums. After noticing an increase of over $700 a month for my insurance, I started questioning my insurance company. In my conversations with the administrative manager, Diana Christobeck, she too had issues with her homeowner's policy and alerted me that she had been getting requests from residents and closing companies to have letters written from the Finleyville Fire Department saying they were also a township fire department as well as El Rema Fire Department. It seemed to me at first that it was based on the distance of these properties from the El Rema Fire Department that seemed to be the issue. After this board reached out to the township's insurance broker, we were made aware that the primary issue is the ISO rating. The ISO is for Insurance Services Office. They create the ratings for fire departments and communities of which they're in. These ratings calculate how well equipped fire departments are to put out fires in the community. Then ISO provides that score to the insurance companies. 50% of that score is based on the fire department's information, including staffing levels, training records, equipment maintenance records, and proximity of properties to the firehouse. 40% of the rating comes from the prevalence of fire hydrants and how much pressure they have after testing is available to put out the fires. The other 10% comes from the quality of the area's emergency communication system 911. After analyzing that data it collects, ISO assigns a public protection classification on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the best of the best, and 10 meaning that the area's fire suppression program does not meet the minimum requirements. In January, this board was informed that the El Rema Fire Department was a 10, meaning they did not, as far as ISO was concerned, meet the minimum fire suppression requirements. The next step this board did was set up an information gathering meeting with both El Rema Fire Department, Finleyville Fire Department, the Chief of Police, as well as with Tyler Olson of ISO last week. During that meeting, Tyler made us aware of attempts in 2021 and 22 that had been made to get both Chief Bailey as well as the chairman and Heather Dare to respond to their ISO requests, which are the emails that are included as exhibits to the resolution of tonight that you all have in your hands. Mr. Olson also informed everyone at last week's meeting that in October of 2022, in a phone call, Ms. Dare told him that the township was not concerned with the rating they would receive, as the emails that I'm referred to clearly state the impact on home sales as well as insurance policies for the residents would be canceled. It is unfathomable why she would make such a statement on behalf of not only the whole board, but this entire community. After not being able to receive fire hydrant test records from PAWC, assumingly because this township did not pay the monthly fees to PA American Water for all of 2020, 21, and most of 22, after receiving no positive response from Union Township nor the El Rama Fire Department, ISO filed their report in April of 2023, which is really making effect right now due to the fact that the insurance renewals start in January. ISO said they could start a re-review process for El Rama Fire Department on March 6th. However, it would take in excess of 6 months to finish their report findings and possibly additional months to finalize the mapping and notification to the insurance agencies. We are receiving dozens of letters a week of policies being canceled and home sales being stopped, which is why this board is considering this resolution tonight. I'd like to caveat that this resolution is coming with the full commitment that this board will do everything in its power and everything at its disposal to work with the El Rama Fire Company, ISO, and the county to correct the issues with the El Rama Fire Department's information, as well as with PAWC fire hydrant testing. In the last 2 weeks, this board has been in contact with Adam Bromley of PAWC, who has had Chris DeMorris contact us, and he advised that the fire hydrants would be put at a top priority for testing and possibly done this week to latest next week. We've also been in contact with Jerry Coleman of Washington County Director of Public Safety. He said that he would have the Mount Lebanon Fire Chief contact both the township and the El Rama Fire Department to see how he could assist in gathering the information. Although this was quite a hit to us pretty early on in the stage, I want to make the residents know that rest assured, this does not mean that the El Rama Fire Department lacks the training or lacks the equipment or lacks anything. What's lacking is the data. That without the data, the assumption is to be what it is. So it's not necessarily that they don't have it, it's that the data hasn't been reported. The data wasn't given to ISO, therefore the data is assumed to be the 10. So I didn't want to assume, or you to assume, that they don't have the training, they don't have the equipment, but without the data, that is the assumption. And it remains a 10, which means that this township lacks the minimum requirements for fire suppression program in Union Township, which is why this board is considering this resolution tonight while we work on getting that data to ISO and the county to correct this situation for the El Rama Fire Department.
And if you don't mind if I interrupt.
No, please do.
And part of the issue was, there were two main issues with this ISO rating. The one issue was regarding the fire hydrant testing for 8 fire hydrants. And those fire hydrants, the board's already been in touch with PAWC, and they're going to do the testing either next week or the following week. I don't know why those tests weren't performed by PAWC, but PAWC has been advised it's an emergency situation, and they will do the testing, and once the testing is done, they'll provide the testing to, I guess, the township and Tyler Olson. The second issue deals with the fact that, according to what I understand, they said they tried to contact Lenny Bailey, and I'll take Lenny Bailey's word for it, saying basically that, he said they didn't contact, but, be as it is, that's the issue. And I'll take your word for it, Lenny. I've known you for a number of years. So the basic issue is we're trying to get this thing resolved. There will be a meeting, I believe, on March 6th. We already have been, we'll be touched base with that lady you mentioned, Daly, I think her name, Connie Daly. We'll also be in touch with the Tyler Olson to see if we can get this thing bumped up. We'll try to figure out what's going on in terms of this, why it would take 6 months to do a survey. Doesn't make sense to me, but that'll be the first thing I do tomorrow is call this Tyler Olson up to see about how quick we can have you back online. Everybody on this board has full confidence in your department, full confidence in the men and ladies that work with you. It's just the concern we have is the insurance situation right now. And the township, like Michelle, we call you Mary Ann, like Michelle said, basically, they're going to work as with expeditious as possible to get this thing resolved.
It's like to assume that the fire hydrants aren't working. They're working. They just haven't been tested, the data hasn't been entered, and until that happens, it goes as if they're not working.
And-
So it's,
And the thing about it is, we all have to work together. I mean, we have Finneyville Fire Department, we have the Raymond Fire Department, we have the township, and we have the residents. Everybody has to work together, and that's what we're doing here today. Okay? All right, public participation, the first one we have.
so